regard is Zach on this show? In what conversation, strategic moment, competition, funny moment, in what capacity is Zach even here? And also, okay, so Amber cries a lot, and she was close with Dustin, so that's how she's on the show. Jameka probably made her mark with this little veto incident or whatever. Please tell me for a millisecond, a segment outside of him streaking, what Zach's been asked one question out of 7 or 8 shows. Yeah. I mean, is he even here? And now he's playing like a bad Howie knockoff, minus the humor. He's going around raping men, and he's goofing on everyone and sexually harassing everyone. And it's like he's playing himself like he's a poor man's Howie at this point. How could he be a poor man's Howie?
I hated Howie.
And the thing is, I've actually had some pretty good times with Zach in the last few weeks. But from a gameplay standpoint, I don't get it. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, remember, he was the big mastermind of the alliance.
Well, that didn't go too well. They went out in 3 consecutive weeks.
That's right.
Well, at least he's still here.
Gail was sitting there going, what happened to our alliance?
Whatever. I mean,
Mrs. Robinson,
yeah.
You blew it. You know, I sit here and go, after 3 years of work to get on this show, do you think that her experience here was all she thought it was going to be?
Oh, yeah.
Being on the block 3 consecutive weeks before she finally goes home.
Being put through absolute misery and then still being out before even the jury. I mean, just a disaster. I mean, also on slot 95% of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I don't know if you realized this at the time. I'm sure that you did. I'm sure we discussed it at the time. But one of the funniest fucking moments in the entire house was when Jameka and Jessica won that stupid egg thing. And they go to 4 of you and say, I am sorry, you were on slop. And then Jessica, for whatever reason, I don't know what inspired her to do this, walks over the Kale and just goes, congratulations, Kale. You are on slop, all happy. And she said, I'm sorry to 4 people, and then walks over and says, congratulations to Kale. And I asked her about this almost every day. Just go, was that like an intentional slight or just tried to mix up your word choice? Or what was that about? And she just goes, I was just happy she was on slop.
Oh, Jessica hated Kale.
Yeah, she really did. She really hates her. She... I mean, it was fun.
Gail was one that I was worried about that was hanging around too fucking long.
Yep.
And
I mean,
Jen's another one, dude.
I said that every week.
Jen's another one. And Jen is flipping out. She's just cornering Danielle left and right. And
she's in a panic.
Good.
That's pretty obvious.
And you know what?
What is it?
Don't give her the chance of the PO.
Oh, obviously.
You know, if it's any chance.
Couldn't even guess.
To knock somebody out.
Yeah.
She's got to be the first one out, and then who gives a fuck?
I couldn't even guess what the game is going to be.
Yeah.
No fucking clue.
Well, we haven't had one of those where everything that is taken is a detriment to the house.
What are you going to do if it's one of those? There's part of me that's like, someone's going to take it anyway. It's like part of me that figures I should just give everything to everyone.
Oh, we don't want to have fucking... Oh, yeah. Yeah. No shit. But, Jen, you know, the thing... Okay, let's look at Jen's wins. 9 gallons in a teacup.
Right. Clearly ridiculous.
Me walking off the pedestal and sending Mike home.
Not her doing. Jameka
giving
waiting
her
for her.
And the last one...
Giving up her entire prize money.
Yeah.
Which, to her credit,
Doesn't
I would
matter
say...
because she's not going to fucking win.
Doesn't matter because she's not going to win. And I would say, if I felt like I was going to go home that week, better to have the chance at winning $250,000 than chance at winning $0. Yeah. So I would have done the same thing. At the same time, it was flabbergasting to watch. And, you know, right, her wins... They're not as esteemed as one might make them out to be.
She's such a great competitor. Look at what she's won. You know, it's like, no, let's look at these things closely. So, yes, she is a competitor, but she's not all she's cracked up to be.
Yeah. I mean, if I were watching the show, I can
dude.
tell you for a fact, I would absolutely despise Amber and Jameka and Zach. If I were watching, I would hate all three of them.
Yeah, who wants?
I would, regardless of how anyone was behaving. Why wouldn't you want you and Danielle and Jen and me on the show? We are the ones who are entertaining people and causing trouble and doing crazy things and making big moves and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, if I was watching Amber cry and, you know, be butt buddies with Dustin every single night, I would
like, what the
be like,
fuck
these
is
are the
wrong with
worst
this
pairing.
girl?
They make, you know, that the nerd herd look, you know, like they were desirable.
Yeah, dude, I can't even tell you how glad I am that Dustin's gone.
Mm-hmm. Don't see me crying over it.
Every day, I'm just well, not every day. It's been one day, but I've said it like 10 times. I'm so glad that motherfucker is gone.
I haven't missed him.
Silence!
I have not missed him for even a second. I'll say that much. And I felt no remorse as he walked out the door. Obviously, today I've noted numerous times how you know, pleased I am and what a sound decision it was and how it went off without a hitch. And hey, listen, even once I decided this was a good idea, still had to talk to Jess and still had to get Zach and Jen to vote, you know?
Yeah.
It was not like just because I said, you know, I think we have something here, that there was still work to do in a really short amount of time. And, you know, who the hell knew what was going to happen? All I could do was try, but it went off
Look
better
at
than
who
it could have
I
ever
had
been
to approach
expected.
about this. The guy that I was campaigning to get out, the guy that Danielle put up.
And yet, ironically enough, if I wanted to, probably in my own hands, I had the choice to make you leave if I wanted to, and I opted not to.
You did. That's and I told
Yeah.
you. So.
And it's at that point when you say there's honor amongst thieves, and
Yeah.
there's what's the point at this point? If my desire was to make you leave, I would have made you leave, and that would have been the
yeah.
end of it. You know, there's no reason to do it if it's not to do it full bore. So
Well, and I'm sitting here going, I'm asking this guy that I've done all this shit to turn on his alliance, to turn on the guy that saved him last week.
Well, that was the first thing that Jameka and Amber said. You do realize that without him, you would have been gone. I said, I understand that. I said, it's one of those ironic turn of events in the house.
You know, how funny is it that, as it turns out, you trust me more than you trust him.
As I said, better to have someone try and stab you in the front than stab you in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, for all he was, and for all everyone felt about him, he still had a chance of easily making it to the end of the game if he were here. And who needed that? Him and Amber in the final two, I would have thrown up rather than casting a vote.
I would have walked out of sequester and told him, go fuck yourself, figure it out. Keep your money, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all of a sudden, no more Dick's vote. America has a seventh vote.
Dick's walking home from Mexico.
Exactly, they don't even get you a flight.
Exactly.
You just
Jerry
have your
Springer,
duffel
if you don't
bag.
stay on the stage, they take your ticket away.
Yep. It's
My BB bag walking down the dirt road.
on a camel or donkey or something.
The open back pickup truck with chickens in it.
Yep.
Shit.
I mean, it seems like tomorrow should be easy. And you want to know what? In the worst case scenario, who the fuck cares if Amber leaves? That's not a bad scenario anyway. It's fine.
I would just rather
of course.
go up against Amber than go up against Jen for
Of course. Of course. And I'll tell you.
Jen the second week when she was coming out of HOH and she goes, Kel's going to win next week and I'm going to win the week after. And I'm like, oh, there's no one else in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you
I can
two.
tell you, though, I don't know what in the fuck she did or what the hell happened to her yesterday, but she knew that stuff cold. She could have told you any fucking thing under the sun to do with those fucking people. And I don't know how she fucking boned this or whatever, but that was like tailor-made for her to win the game.
Yeah.
It's like, as I said, it's like if they had a fucking...
That whole
like,
OCD.
Yep. Ultimate Fighting Championship trivia